This is the Emeril Lagasse Extra Large French Door Air Fryer Toaster Oven Combo. I just wanted to share my experience with this in case anyone else is considering it. The first thing I noticed was the size. This is not a small air fryer. It has a 26-quart interior, and it takes up a fair amount of counter space. I had to measure my counter before setting it up. I also made sure there was open space around the top and back for ventilation. It weighs around 26 pounds, so I would not want to move it in and out of a cabinet every day. The setup was simple. I removed the packaging, washed the trays and accessories, and wiped down the inside. I also ran it empty for a short time before cooking. There was a slight factory smell during that initial run, but it faded after airing out the kitchen. The French doors are one of the main reasons I was interested in this oven. They open together and give me a wide opening for sliding in a tray or removing hot food. I find that easier than using a large drop-down door. The handles stay easy to reach, but the metal around the front gets hot during longer cooking sessions. I still use oven mitts and avoid touching the frame. The interior is large enough for the food I normally make. I can fit a 12-inch pizza without cutting it, and I have enough room for a whole chicken. I can also make several slices of toast at once. Compared with the smaller basket-style air fryers I have used, this gives me more flexibility. The trade-off is that it takes longer to heat than a compact basket model, and it needs much more counter space. I have used it for fries, chicken wings, toast, roasted vegetables, pizza, and reheating leftovers. The fries and wings came out crisp when I kept them in a loose layer. When I put too much food in the basket, the results were less even. I had to shake the food or move it around halfway through cooking. That is normal for this type of oven, but the large basket can make it tempting to load in too much at once. Chicken has been one of the better things to cook in it. The outside browns well, and the moving air helps with the skin. I still use a meat thermometer rather than trusting a preset time. The included rotisserie parts work, but attaching a chicken takes a little practice. I have to center it carefully and tie the legs and wings so they do not hit the inside while turning. Toast is fairly consistent once I use the correct rack position. The first batch was darker than I expected, so I lowered the setting after that. Since this has a bigger cooking space than a regular toaster oven, I noticed that rack placement matters. Moving food closer to the upper heating elements can change the result quickly. The digital controls took me a little time to learn. There are a lot of cooking choices on the display, and I did not remember what every button did right away. After a few uses, I mostly chose a cooking mode and adjusted the temperature and time myself. I treat the preset programs as starting points. Food size, starting temperature, and how full the basket is can all change the cooking time. I like having an interior light. I can check browning without opening the doors and releasing heat. The glass also gives me a clear view, as long as I keep it clean. Grease spots build up on the doors after roasting or air frying, so I wipe them down after the oven cools. Cleaning is manageable, but it is not as quick as cleaning a small removable air fryer basket. Crumbs and grease can collect on the bottom tray and near the doors. I remove the crumb tray often because leftover grease can cause smoke during the next use. I soak the basket and baking pan in warm, soapy water instead of scrubbing them with anything rough. I do not spray cleaner directly onto the heating elements. I unplug the oven, let it cool, and wipe the inside with a damp cloth. The stainless steel exterior shows fingerprints, but they come off without much effort. The oven is easier to live with when I clean small messes right away rather than waiting for buildup. The fan is noticeable on the air fry setting. It is not something that bothers me during normal cooking, but it is louder than a basic toaster oven. The beeps and control sounds are also noticeable in a quiet kitchen. I would keep that in mind if noise is a concern. Another thing I thought about before getting it was power. This is a 1,700 watt appliance, so I use it directly in a wall outlet. I do not run another high-power appliance on the same circuit at the same time. I also do not use an extension cord. Those are simple precautions, but they matter with a countertop oven this size. I was also concerned about how well the heating parts would hold up over time. I have seen similar countertop ovens lose heating performance after heavy use. I have not had that happen during my time with this unit, but I still think it is worth checking the current warranty and return policy before buying. Warranty terms can vary by seller, and this is not a cheap appliance to replace. Compared with a standard toaster oven, This moves more air and handles air-fried food better. Compared with a basket air fryer, it holds more and lets me cook pizza, toast, or a whole chicken more easily. A basket air fryer is still quicker to clean and often heats faster for a small serving. This oven makes more sense for me when I am cooking several portions, or when I want one countertop appliance for different meals. I do not use every cooking function. Most days I use air fry, bake, toast, roast, or reheat. The extra settings are there, but they are not the reason I keep using it. The useful part is having enough room and being able to adjust the temperature, fan, and time without turning on my full-size oven. This is a practical option for me when I have enough counter space and regularly cook for more than 1 or 2 people. It also works well when I want to avoid heating the main oven for pizza, a tray of vegetables, or a small roast. I would hesitate if my kitchen were tight if I only cooked one small portion at a time, or if I wanted something that could be cleaned in a minute. My experience has been mostly positive, with a few normal compromises. It cooks evenly when I leave enough space around the food. The doors make trays easy to handle, and the capacity is useful. It is also bulky. The fan makes some noise, and regular cleaning is necessary. I would recommend considering it if those trade-offs fit the way you cook. Just measure the available space and check the warranty before making a decision. If you have any questions about the Emeril Lagasse French door air fryer toaster oven combo, leave them in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more straightforward product reviews. Thank you for watching.